Hi, this is Brandon from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the plank versus band. This is a great abdominal exercise and progression on your standard plank. My first suggestion would be to make sure that your clients and your athletes understand how to do a proper plank. So you really want to make sure they're pushing the ground away. They've got everything good and neutral. They're not arching through their low back. Their butt's not way up in the air trying to make like a tripod. I really like this, honestly, more so for my strength athletes and some of my more advanced athletes. Since the band's constantly pulling down, you're going to have to provide some feedback and constantly be pushing back up into the band. And as you fatigue, that becomes harder and harder. Nothing against adding weight. Weight's also good too. But I just find that setting this up for us is also relatively easy. So we set this up on our rig. I think it's the best way to do it. You can certainly do it in a power rack as well. Just make sure your J-cups are facing outwards, and then you've got a good quality band that you need. And then the band position we want to actually be more so in like the mid to low back range. We don't want it over our shoulders. We don't want it on our butt. We want it kind of in the weakest length spot, so to speak. So right down here towards the belly button area works the best from what I found. What I also do to get in and out of this, whenever I do this by myself, unhook it. Basically pull it behind me so that I'm basically partially underneath it, and then hook it there like that, and then I'm pretty much good to go. Okay, so I've got it here on my back. I'm going to get down in my plank-based position. Now, I personally prefer to have my hands down when I do a plank. I feel that I can push myself away from the ground better rather than being here. Also, I try to keep my athletes from having their hands together. But regardless, this is kind of where I prefer to be. And then I'm going to dig my toes in. Again, I want to make sure that my belly button is pushed up towards the ceiling. I've got a good posterior pelvic tilt. You know, I'm not got my butt up in the air. I've also not got my butt sagging. I should look, again, relatively flat like a plank, like the exercise says. So I'm going to dig my toes in, kind of shoot. So notice here, this is too much low back arch. I'm going to try to posterior tilt, get that butt underneath me, and I can already feel my abs having to work pretty hard in this position, okay? So just going to stay here, good quality breaths. Whatever my time would be is what I would hold. This is a pretty good amount of band tension for myself. Like, this would be a good working set for me, and I'm just going to stay here, okay? So I would say the first thing to notice as well is that, again, you got to have good quality plank position and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you've got a strong enough band. A really skinny band planning on doing anything, you better off just put a 5 or 10 pound plate on their back. So make sure you got plenty of band tension. The other thing is, this works great for people that are narrow infrasternal angles. So I like to use this for like the smaller petite-based girls that have some pretty strong abdominals. They're kind of already in that anterior pelvic tilt. The nice thing about this is the band's trying to push them into that further. The gravity's trying to push them that further. So that's going to make them have to pull everything back, and then it's going to make them actually have to breathe from side to side as well, which is also kind of what we want with that population. So looking at that, that's another way to kind of cheat and hack into this exercise and help some of your athletes. If you happen to work with infrasternal angles and things like that, this can be a great way to help some of those narrow people that are already really kind of pushed forward a little bit. You're trying to pull them back, get them some quality abdominal work that really helps. Now, when it comes to your programming and how you would implement this, I really think 2 to 4 sets of probably about 15 to 30 seconds are pretty good. I think those really long planks just start to become, honestly, a waste of time, especially in terms of talking about training resources. So make these things heavy, make your athletes work hard, definitely make them brace in a good, strong position. When you're doing this, when I'm doing this with powerlifters, I honestly try to keep them under 30 seconds all the time. I know they're not going to be bracing for a long time, so I want to make sure the brace that they're creating and the stack they're creating can withstand really hard pressure, so I'll make them load the band tension up as well. So if you got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.